Hey there everyone, welcome to Tina's Yoga Room. Today we're going to build towards an arm balance called GALAVASANA. So it's a figure four shape with the legs where you keep that shape and then you bring the hands all the way to the mat and float that back leg. Easy, right? In order to prep for this pose, we're going to get a lot of hip opening. So the outside hips are going to get good stretch and good opening today. What I would recommend for class is if you don't have a yoga block, which is totally fine, have at least a rolled up towel or two, or a thick pillow, a cushion of some sort. We are going to put this underneath your hips, so you don't want it to be hard like a stool. We're going to begin on your backs in a Supta Baddha Konasana, so feet together, knees out to the side. And if that's not comfortable, keep the feet on the mat and let the knees tent in towards center. Let's get started. I'll see you on the mat. So either tented knees or your supine bound angle where the knees are out towards the sides. Now a really grounding place for the hands is a hand on the heart and a hand on the belly. But if you want more chest or heart opening, the arms can go wide out toward the sides or even all the way up overhead for a release of the shoulders. So give you a moment to come into the pose that is working best for you. And then start to take a few deep breaths, noticing how this can help calm the body. You can feel the rise of the breath if the hands are on the torso, but even if the arms are wide, just makes a big space with every inhale. Get more relaxed and deeper into your mat with every exhale. Let's take 2 rounds of full inhale and exhale. So breath in, hold the air at the top, open the mouth and sigh the air out this time. And one more just like that. Control the breath in, fill up the lungs, and then sigh the air out. Nice, controlled, slow breath out. And then use the hands to guide the knees into center. We're all going to find feet about hips width distance. Let's let the right leg lift into the air. Basket the hands behind that leg. Really press the leg outward so the arms are outstretched, and give some movement into that right ankle and the toes. Pause for a moment now, pressing that right heel high and the toes falling down. And then let's find a figure four. So the arms will go down by your sides, right ankle on that left thigh. Strong right foot, and see if you can activate your right outer hip by pressing that right knee forward without using your hands. Now let's scoop up that left thigh and bring that left shin to parallel on the mat. Both feet are flexed. Arms are straight and you're somewhat pressing that left leg forward. You can stay here with that left leg or extend that left leg now up towards the ceiling as well. Keep the legs as they are, but now let's basket the hands behind your head. Lift the head, neck, and shoulders off of the mat. So this is your hover. And then exhale, crunch in a little closer. Try to lift those hips a little higher. Inhale, hover. Also hover that left heel just off the mat so you're nice and long. And exhale, crunch everything into center. Let's take 2 more. Inhale to hover. Exhale, get as close as you can. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale to a hover. Lower the head down, rebend that left knee so the left foot is on the mat. Arms go wide, let the legs tip over towards the left, gaze to the right for an early spinal twist. You can still guide that right leg forward, further getting into the outer hip. Then look forward, replant your left foot, Right leg relifts into the air, give it a spin and pause. Extend your left leg long, but let it hover just an inch or two off of the mat, and extend your arms forward. Imagine you could reach for something out in front of you. We're going to take a couple of rocks to gather the momentum and try to stick a split-legged boat pose. So you can take a couple rocks, feel what it feels like to balance on the hips, and one of these last rounds, try to keep the legs split. Find your boat pose, arms extended, one more breath in, and on the exhale, cross right ankle over left, wrap around the legs, tuck the chin to release. And now let's roll forward to tabletop. So if you're able to keep the cross, keep it, because we're going to keep the feet crossed behind you. So if you had to come to tabletop a different way, just have that left ankle resting on top now, and both tops of the feet are down on the mat. So we're going to find cat-cows with this cross ankle position. So on an inhale, allow the belly to lower down towards the mat, pull the mat towards you as you lift your gaze, you pull your breastbone forward. And then exhale, press the mat away, tuck the chin and let the spine rise. One more round like that. Inhale, come forward. And then exhale to press. We're going to add on this round. So inhale, still come through cow pose. This time exhale, hover the knees off of the mat, and once again, press the spine to the ceiling. Lower the knees, inhale through to cow pose. And exhale, hover those knees, lift the spine. Last one, inhale. And exhale, lift. Inhale, lower the knees down, come back to center. Taking it one step further, we're going to pick up this left knee and bring it to the opposite side of that right calf. So you've got a nice deep cross at the legs. Walk the hands all the way up. If they're able to come to the hips, you can come to your cross-legged camel variation. Let's sweep the arms up, breath in. Exhale, hands heart center. Inhale, sweep the arms up. And exhale, center. Inhale, that left arm up, right arm out, and then wrap that right arm around your low back. Lift up on the inhale and take your side lean over towards the right. Keep pressing that left hip forward. And then come back to center. Let's walk the hands all the way out in front of you again. You can pick up the knees to help you unravel and step back to a high plank pose. A breath in here, high plank pose. And on your exhale, take this right hand, tap your left shoulder. Inhale, hand back down. Exhale, left hand, right shoulder. Inhale, plank. Exhale, tap left. Inhale, plank. Exhale, tap right. Inhale, plank. One more each side. Exhale, left. Inhale. Exhale, right. Inhale, plank. Lower the knees down to the mat. Let the hips fall down towards the heels and find your child's pose. Let's make your way to your first downward facing dog. Let the toes tuck under and the hips rise. Finding some movements here to come into your first down dog, lengthening the backs of the legs by lifting one heel up at a time. And then pause at center, downward face. Inhale, lift your heels. Exhale, bend your knees, look forward. Take a hop or a step, feet to the top of the mat, and exhale to fold. Inhale, reach the arms up, come all the way up to standing. And exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale to find your chair pose, a little bend into the knees and the arms extend. Feel the weight sinking back into your heels. Basket the hands behind your head. Press those elbows back. Traditional cat-cow. Inhale, lift the chest, arms press back. And exhale, tuck your chin in, elbows towards the face. Inhale again, open up. And exhale to round. We'll take one more inhale. And exhale. Inhale, come back to center, press those elbows back. Keep the palms exactly as they are, but we're going to let the right elbow lift up towards the ceiling and have the left elbow fall towards the side. So it looks a little something like this. Press the head back into that right elbow, lift the chin, and take another lateral stretch, this time leaning off towards the left. Inhale back to center, hands behind the head, and then extend, straighten the legs, hands to heart center. All right, we're going to come back into a little bend into the knees. This time, figure four, right ankle rests on top of your left thigh. So we're going to build some strength in the top of that left leg by doing some pulses up and down. So this is going to be your inhale, stand nice and tall. Exhale, take it a little lower, even if it's just a couple of inches. Inhale, controlled, straighten back up, and exhale, a little bend. Two more of these. Inhale, controlled pulses, and exhale. Last one, inhale, and exhale. Inhale, rise all the way up. Let's straighten that right leg out for a moment, keep it lifted, and a sweep behind you for a quick warrior three. Now tent those fingertips down, that left knee can bend. Step your right foot all the way to the back of the mat. Palms to the mat and lift left leg up in the air, three-legged dog. So if you need to adjust, maybe that right foot hops forward, and then you can stack the hips, bend that left knee, and allow that left knee to lift all the way up towards the ceiling. See if the left heel can get lower towards your glutes and the right heel closer to the mat. Now re-extend left leg, square the hips, look forward, and step left foot all the way to the top of the mat. You can wiggle those back toes back, get a nice long stance, and then the inhale, you come all the way up to your high lunge. Hands to heart center, stand nice and tall, breath in, and exhale, take a twist towards the left. So try to keep the thumbs right near your sternum so that you're not just allowing the arms to shift to the side, but you're trying to bring the whole torso towards the side. Right hip forward, one last breath. And then sweep the arms up, come back to center. Exhale into your warrior two. So those back toes facing slightly forward. Let's straighten your front leg, flip your front palm, and reverse your triangle. Left arm up and back with the right hand either light on that back leg or it wraps around your low back. Come back to two straight arms. So what we're going to do is reach that right arm up towards the ceiling. Left hand is going to take a hold of that wrist and reach up. Now bend into your left knee. We're coming into a variation of side angle. Keep the legs as they are, but now we're just going to lean up and arc over. You might not be able to go as deep as you're used to because you're relying a lot more on your core to keep you upright. Inhale back up, hands to hips, straighten that front leg and let those left toes dial in. 10 toes facing in, let's lift the heart, inhale, and the exhale, take your lean out for your Prasarita Padottanasana, wide-legged forward fold. Press the mat away for another inhale, and on the exhale, you can find the depth in your pose. So you're working on walking the hands backwards so that they're more in line with your toes or your feet. And the head is releasing down. Now walk the hands back out underneath your shoulders, and then we'll take it one step further. Walk it out to a wide-legged downward facing dog. So if you need to make some space, you can always walk back on your mat. Arms are extended, weight is rested towards the heels, and your head is nice and heavy. Now let's glide forward. So the shoulders will stack over your wrists, and you're going to lift the backs of the heels. So if that's not happening, you can always wiggle yourself a little longer. So this is your wide-legged high plank pose. Now let's let the hips rock back to your wide-legged downward facing dog. With the breath, inhale to glide forward, wide plank, and exhale, hips back, wide dog. Let's again, inhale, take it forward, and exhale, hips back. Last one, inhale, forward, pause. Option to find your wide-legged low plank. So the elbows press straight behind you, and then you push right back up. That's the hardest part. And then hips back to your wide-legged downward facing dog. Couple breaths with the head nice and heavy underneath you. And then walk those palms back onto your mat. Let's side lunge into that right knee, and hands are going to walk over with you. Now you can stay with hands grounded or reach those arms out like airplane wings. Inhale, let's come back to center, hands either to the mat or heart center, and then exhale to the left, you might find those airplane wings again. Inhale back to center, exhale to the right, inhale center, and exhale left. One more each side. Inhale, exhale, inhale, and exhale. Inhale to center, hands to your hips. Use all of your core to press right back up to standing. So for a moment, the right toes are going to face to the back of the mat, and the arms are going to reach up again overhead. This time, the left palm to the ceiling, and the right hand circles that wrist, coming into a variation of triangle pose. So press that left arm up, inhale, and exhale. Let's take that same side lean you found in side angle pose. Inhale, upright. Hands can find the hips. So once again, right toes face in, left toes will face all the way forward, and you're going to take a big step all the way to the top of the mat and connect in samastiti. Let's wash it away. Inhale, take your arms up, and the exhale to forward fold. Inhale, step, step, high plank pose, and exhale, take your low plank. Upward face, breath in, and downward facing dog, exhale. Let's come back to sit and onto your back, so you can hop or slide through. Come all the way, lay down. Wrap the arms around your legs, and give a nice rock side to side. Then place the feet on the wide edges of the mat. Let the knees knock into center. Place a hand on your heart and a hand on your belly. And feel how your energy has shifted from the very beginning of class. Take a couple of slow rounds of breath here, controlling the breath, even in, even out. And then let's bring the feet underneath the knees, separate the knees, hips distance, and extend your left leg into the air. Basket behind that leg, find nice straight arms, press the leg into the hands, and find some movement around in this ankle. Pause for a moment, the heel pressing, the toes diving down. And then a figure four. So that left ankle resting on right thigh, hands can soften down for a moment. See if you can use that left outer hip strength now and press that left knee forward. It definitely takes some work here. Scoop that right thigh up now, right shin parallel to mat, and now you've got straight arms once again basking behind your right leg. Let's extend that right leg up towards the ceiling if you took that, still pressing that left knee away. Now keep the legs as they are, basket the hands behind your head. Start by hovering the head, shoulders off of the mat, and then exhale, crunch in as close as you can get. Inhale, hover, but also hover that right heel off of the mat, and exhale again to crunch in. Inhale to get nice and long, and exhale to crunch. Twice more, inhale, exhale, inhale, and exhale. Inhale, lower down, drop that right foot to the mat again, extend your arms wide, and the legs can now fall towards the right, gaze to the left. Let's face forward, plant that right foot, lift the left leg again, give that ankle a spin. Now we're going to straighten that right leg to a hover off the mat, so you've got nice split legs. Arms are going to reach forward, take a couple of rocks, maybe 2 or 3, and on that third one, see if you can stick the boat pose, trying to scissor those legs together, lift the chest a little higher, and then as you tap down, left ankle over right, wrap in. And now we'll come through to your tabletop, so you can scooch the hips back, roll over these cross ankles, or come to it any way you can. And if you're looking back, now that right ankle is on top of the left one. So we're going to find these cross ankle cat-cows. The first 2 rounds are just normal cat-cows. So inhale, lower belly, lift gaze, and exhale, press away to round. Inhale, and exhale. Here's where we add on. Inhale, normal, forward. Exhale, hover the knees to find your cat pose. Inhale, lower the knees, pull through. Exhale, knees lift. Last one, inhale, and exhale. Inhale down. Let's pick up this right knee and bring it to the opposite side of that left leg. So the feet can separate a little wider. Walk the hands closer to you, and again, find the space that works for you. We're drawing that right hip forward. Reach those arms up overhead. And now exhale, left arm around the low back, reach up, and exhale over towards the left. So you're pressing the low back into that left arm so that you're resisting a back bend. Inhale, back to center, both arms overhead. Exhale, the hands out in front of you. Let's take each foot, step it back, high plank pose. Inhale, exhale, low plank. Upward face, pull heart forward, hips high, downward facing dog. Inhale, lift heels. Exhale, bend knees, look forward. Hop or step feet to the top of the mat, breath in, and then fold, breath out. Inhale, come all the way up, and exhale, hands heart center. So let's take your chair pose again. Toe mounds are touching, space at the heels. Knees, you don't have to go very deep here for your chair pose. And then reach the arms overhead. Basket the hands behind your head. Good, press the head back into the arms. Press those elbows back. Then we're just going to go side to side. So a tick-tock. Inhale at center. Let's go over to the left. Exhale. Inhale center. And exhale right. One more each side. Inhale. And left. Inhale. Exhale right. Inhale center, pause. So now we're going to let that left elbow lift up towards the ceiling as the right elbow lowers down. So you're keeping that same basket, it's just a little bit asymmetrical. Breath in here, press the head into that left arm, and an exhale, take your side lean to the right. So big opening for left side. Back to center, hands behind the head, extend the legs and the arms, and then rest hands at heart center. Coming into your figure four on the other side. So again, a pretty tall chair pose, and then we have that left ankle on top of your right thigh. We're going to take some pulses here. So take your inhale, and on the exhale, try to bend that knee a little more. Inhale, come back up, and exhale to bend. Let's take two more. Inhale, exhale, inhale, and exhale. Inhale, center, extend this left leg, keep it in the air, and then sweep it behind you as the torso comes halfway, warrior three, and then all the way down, left foot back, palms to the mat, and right leg sweeps in the air, three-legged dog. Now adjust that back foot closer or wider if you need. Stack right hip on top of left, bend into that knee. So right knee lifted, left heel heavy, right heel trying to touch your right glute. Right leg straightens, look forward and launch right foot inside your right thumb. Set the feet up for your high lunge, back heel stays lifted, bend the front knee and take it up on the inhale. High lunge twist, hands to heart center. Stay nice and tall here to get a stretch through that left hip. Exhale, twist towards the right. Now notice my thumbs are staying at the center of my body. It's not creeping over towards the side here because that's not actually getting any further into the twist. Use your core to get you deeper into your twist. Inhale, center, arms up overhead. Let's come to your warrior two for a moment. And then straighten that front leg, right palm up, and reverse your triangle. So you've got two straight legs. Draw the belly button in, and then if you took so, that left arm around the low back. Come back to center. So keep the legs straight for a moment. Left arm up. Right hand is going to circle that left wrist. Now bend into your right knee. Reach that left arm long and take a dive towards the right. So variation of side angle with a lot more core. Inhale, back up. You can re-straighten that front leg, hands find the hips. Now let those right toes fall in. So we'll find another wide-legged forward fold. Let's go arms wide and interlace at the low back. Lift the heart breath in, and on the exhale, take your lean out. Find a couple rounds of deep breath here. Weight is slightly forward towards the front end of the feet. Head is as heavy as you can get it. Come up halfway, hands to the hips, and then all the way up to standing. Left toes are going to face the back of your mat for your triangle pose. Hips are facing the side mat, so try not to let the hips face in line with those left toes. Now it's that right arm up, palm to the ceiling. Left hand takes that wrist up, and exhale, lean across. You're working the core in your triangle pose. Both arms extended. Inhale, right back up, hands to hips. Left toes angle in, right toes face forward. Let's take a big step all the way to the top of the mat and meet with hands and toes touching. A breath in to reach the arms overhead, and then the exhale to forward fold. Step back, inhale, breath, and the exhale, chaturanga, low plank. Upward facing dog, inhale, and downward facing dog, exhale. Let's get into the hips a little bit more. So take a look forward, come to sit. And we'll find more of that figure four shape. So when you have the bend into the knee, we're working that outer hip. So the left leg will stay long, and you find a seated figure four with the right ankle flexed. Now sitting up tall, the hands are going to land behind you. Chest is lifted, and then you can plant your left foot on the mat. Now just know the closer you bring that left foot to you, the more of a stretch you'll get in the opposite outer hip. So take a moment here, sitting up tall, consciously pressing that right leg forward. Option to add core on here. So you can take one arm or both arms and reach them forward. See if these right toes might even be able to curl around that left arm. I'm foreshadowing an arm balance to come. One step further, boat pose. So you rely less on this left foot and it may flow off of the mat. Drop that left foot down, hands return behind you, and now let's straighten through that left leg. The right leg is going to stay as it is. We're going to bend into that left leg and see if we can find a stack of the legs for fire log pose. So you bend into that left knee, and you can move this right ankle or foot more inward so it's on top of the left knee. And more or less this right leg is trying to hide the left leg underneath. Now, as you can see, I've got very tight outer hips, so my right knee is popped quite high up. Feel free to give some support by basketing under that knee. We're all going to sit up nice and tall. If you lean slightly forward in the hips, you'll feel that opening happening, so try not to lean back. You'll lose some of the hip opening. Now, if you are a lucky body and the legs are completely flush and touching each other, feel free to walk forward into a forward fold with the hands. If you're folded, come back up. Let's take that top leg, straighten it out in front of you. Take the bottom leg, give that a straighten as well. Give a shake, and let's take a roll forward. Hands top of mat, feet step, plank pose. Exhale, low plank. Upward face, and downward facing dog. Let's look forward, come to sit, and come all the way down to your back. So we're going to open up those hips now with a nice bridge pose. So the feet will be directly underneath your knees. Knees nor feet are touching, arms down by your sides. Inhale, press the feet down, press the head into the mat, and on your exhale, the hips are going to float up towards the ceiling. We're going to take an extended few breaths here to open the tops of the thighs, the tops of the hips. You could interlace the hands underneath your body and shrug the shoulder blades closer together. And your next exhale, unwind, lower the hips down, wrap the arms around the legs. Couple rocks side to side. And then scoop under the thighs and take a couple rocks forward and backward. Let's return to sit. From seated, let's have that right leg stay long and the left ankle comes across for your figure four going the opposite direction. Hands behind you. Slide this right foot closer in and then see if the hip feels the same as the first side. So is it symmetrical? Does one feel drastically tighter than the other? See if you can once again try to press that left knee away from your body. Relying more on the core, you can reach the arms out in front of you and try to loop those left toes somewhere around that right arm. And then into that boat pose. The right foot can float. Stay lifted with the chest though. Keep breathing. And then let's lower right foot down. Two hands behind you. Straighten that right leg. Fire log pose. Let's take that right ankle. Have it parallel to the top end of your mat, and you likely have to pick up this top foot and bring it inward. So trying to stack the legs. And again, you can support underneath that left knee if it's a little hiked up. Notice if you're leaning back, try to sit forward. You'll likely feel more of the stretch. And again, if your body allows both legs to be completely stacked and touching each other, you can walk towards the top of the mat in a forward fold. We'll all come upright. Start by unloading that top leg, followed by the bottom one. Give both of the legs a shake, and we'll come into a forward fold. So both feet drawing back towards your body, sit up tall, and take a walk forward. So just notice how I'm not completely rounding here to get deeper or further. I'm keeping my chest reaching forward, imagining my heart could come towards my toes so that my back stays nice and long. Sit up tall, inhale, and release, exhale. Let's vinyasa. Come forward, hands top of mat. Take a step back, maybe a hop back, plank. Exhale, lower, upward face, and downward facing dog. So we're going to put a couple things together. Let's bend the knees, look forward, hop or step. Forward fold, exhale. Sweep all the way up to standing, inhale, and exhale, hands to heart center. So if you happen to have yoga blocks or those pillows like I suggested at the start of class, you can bring those now to the top of your mat. So what we're going to do is work towards an arm balance, GALAVASANA, a figure four arm balance. We're going to start it on the right side. Now just listen to your body. There's a lot of places you can go along this prep to get into the pose. So you'll see how far you can go today. We start off with figure four, lifting your right foot. So bend into the knees, right ankle on your left thigh. So what we're going to do is see how low we can sink those hips and bend into that standing left knee. Now, if you've got blocks or a big pillow, you could even bring the hands down to those blocks. Maybe you're able to bring the hands all the way down to the mat. If you've got your hands down to the mat, or at least maybe on the lowest setting of the blocks, we can work towards the arm balance. My right toes are wrapped around that left arm like we prepped earlier. And it's like crane pose. This left shin, or rather this right shin, is acting like a little shelf. I bend my elbows, and my left leg can float. Come out the way you came in. Coming up through your figure four, extend that right leg and land it down. Give a nice pedal, a shake around to loosen up. And now we take that directly to the other side. So you can see if one hip is a little easier to access than the other. So maybe step a little further away from the top of your mat. Bend into both knees. Now it's that left ankle on top of your right thigh. Hands can find heart center, and you work on sinking. Again, trying to bring the hands closer to the mat, and as you do that, these left toes can wrap around that right arm. That gives a lot of stability to come into the arm balance. Hands are flat, you bend deeply into that standing leg, lean into it, and then that right leg floats. Come out the way you came in. Rise back up, re-extend, give a shake, a spin, twirl around, and then return to the top of your mat. Let's take a breath in to reach up, and a breath out to forward fold. Step back, high plank pose. Exhale, low plank. Upward face, and downward facing dog. Let's come to sit. All the way onto your back, have your blocks, or if you're using a big pillow, your big pillow, have it nearby, and then come all the way down. We're gonna do one more bridge pose. Plant the feet, arms extend, press the feet down, and then allow the hips to rise. So we're opening up the tops of your thighs and hips. Those are your hip flexors. You could once again crawl the arms underneath you. Lift your heart, lift your chest, hips high. Keep breathing. And then slowly release down. Here's where you're going to take a hold of your prop. You're going to lift your hips up and slide whatever you're using underneath you. It can even be a rolled up blanket, just anything to bring the hips a little bit of height away from the mat. Now, knees press in towards the chest and the legs can straighten into the air. So you've got your supported shoulder stand. Circle around the ankles for a moment. And then pause with your breath. Eyes can start to close. Let the energy slow down. Let the muscles relax. And slowly bend into the knees, let the feet touch down to your mat. And here's where we'll get one more opening of the tops of the legs, because if you think about all those figure fours, it really contracts these hip flexors. So now we're going to open them up. 1 foot at a time is going to walk all the way to the top end of your mat. Now, if this is at all uncomfortable to your low back, you can bring the knees a little bit of a bend. So bring the heels a little closer towards you. One final piece could be the arms reaching all the way behind you. You just get a big, nice, long front body stretch. You can bring your hands back to center. Bend into the knees one at a time. Feet are planted, lift your hips, remove whatever you were sitting on. Let the hips fall down towards the mat. Then you can wrap the arms around the legs. A little shuffle side to side. And then let's come through our very final vinyasa to meet in downward facing dog. Few rocks forward. And then take it with your breath. You'll step back to your plank, to your low plank, upward face, and very final downward facing dog. Then let's return to your backs and start to set up for rest. So we didn't do much twisting today. You might let the knees drop one way and the other. Taking a few breaths in each pose. Maybe you really liked how it felt with the legs in the air. You can let the legs just straighten straight up into the air. And then if you haven't yet taken a happy baby, that could be a nice way to get into the outer hips one last time. Wrap your arms around your knees, curl the nose towards the knees, take a big breath in. And then let the exhale open you out into your resting pose, where you're going to find your Shavasana. Feel free to put any extra layers on the body so you don't cool down too quickly. Soften the muscles. Soften the breath. Close your eyes. And enjoy these moments of stillness. Start to take a couple deep breaths. Roll around the ankles and the wrists. The chin can drop to one shoulder and the other. Point the toes forward, stretch the arms behind you. Take a breath in. And a nice breath out. Wrap the arms around the legs. Take a nice rock side to side. Eventually landing on your right side. Make your way all the way up to a comfortable seated position. Palms will plant at heart center in Anjali Mudra, a mutual sign of gratitude and honor and respect. Let's take one final breath in together. Fill up and sigh out. Thank you for sharing all of your virtual energy today. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Namaste. Thanks so much, and I'll see you next time.